Hello everybody, welcome back to the next part of Syberia. Today's real-world Syberia fact is, until World War II, tea was used as a form of currency in Syberia. That's pretty interesting. Okay. So I'll forewarn you, there's a puzzle coming up here that we're going to have to utilize this bar to do. I am going to reference in a guide what to follow to do here, because I remember this part from all my playthroughs being kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm going to reference just so I don't spend the whole video trying to do this. And I will put a link to the guide that I'm referencing. It's basically a walkthrough for the whole entire game. Obviously, I haven't been using it up till this point. I'm going to start using it for this. But I'll put a link in the description of the first gameplay video. You'll find a link in there to the guide if you want to reference it as well. So, we've got Helena Romansky in here now. We need to talk to her.
It's a real honor to meet you, Madame Romansky. People have told me so much about you.
People still talk about me. Oh dear.
Of course. Everyone tells me how wonderful you were. How you were one of the greatest singers of the century.
Ah, so I was, my dear. But surely you didn't come here just to dig up the past.
Like I said, I'm a lawyer, and to tell you the truth, I don't know much about classical music. But after talking to Mr. Borodin and Mr. Malkovich, they really made me want to hear you.
Oh, you are too late, my child. 10 years too late. And how is dear Frank? Do tell me. Oh, I am still angry with him for leaving like that to America. Don't be offended, but I never suspected those cowboys actually have an ear for real music.
I don't think he sings much anymore. The odd gala, the odd charity event. Anyway, he sends his love.
Oh, his love. Do you hear that, James? There is someone who still loves me on the other side of the Atlantic.
Never said they didn't, madam.
What about this other gentleman? What is his name? Borodin? Do I know him?
Yes, you once sang in Komkalsgrad. An incredible recital, if the director's account is anything to go by. If you only knew how moved he still is. He's another one who still adores you.
I must confess that seeing one of my greatest admirers once more would do wonders for me, but... my voice. It is so... I couldn't.
I'm wrapped up in a case at the moment, and because of it I met a certain Mr. Sergei Borodin, director of the Komkalsgrad Industrial Complex, situated to the northeast of here.
I remember that factory. A sad city indeed. What am I saying? They all were.
Madame Romansky, this Borodin is one of your biggest fans. If you could come and sing for him there, it would make one of his biggest dreams come true.
Sing? Oh, my poor girl. I have not sung for years. Time has taken its toll. My voice is like the rest of me. Faded and wan, like my heart.
Oh, aren't you going a bit far there? I bet you've still got a great voice.
Oh, you are the sweetest cherry, my dear. I am not senile yet, but I look reality in the face every time I look in the mirror, and I can tell you, singing is something I did in the past.
Madame Romansky, please understand I would never have come so far to disturb you if I didn't really need your help.
I understand, my dear, but my health is failing me, as does my voice. Believe me, no one is sadder than I.
Strange. I get the impression that Hans Vorarlberg turned up here, too.
You know Hans Vorarlberg?
Not exactly. I'm looking for him to sort out this inheritance case. But I've had to snoop around in his past a bit to get on his trail, and I guess he's kind of a close friend now. You knew him, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I knew Hans Vorarlberg. Do you hear, James? Ah, if you had the chance to meet Hans. My Hans. Oh, my God. What has become of him? Where is he?
As questions go, madam, that one is not without certain complications.
I'm sorry, but I have no idea. That's the goal of my mission, to find Hans Vorarlberg. That's why I have to get back to my train as quickly as possible and to get out of Komkalsgrad.
And you cannot find him without the train?
The train is one of his last inventions. So is Oscar, the automaton engineer. I get the feeling that the two of them are going to lead me to him.
Did you hear that, James? I might see Hans again. I have dreamed so long of meeting my dearest sweetheart again. Oh, if only I could sing. If only I were in Paris, I would ask George for that miracle cocktail. The one that only he knew how to make. Wouldn't I, James?
Yes, madam. As you have frequently said, without that famous cocktail, your French tour would have probably been cancelled.
I don't understand.
An extraordinary tale, my dear. It was December, and it was terribly cold and damp. I had to play the role of Tatiana that evening at the opera. But since the morning, I had lost my voice. It drove me completely mad with worry. I don't know how George, the barman at the Moritz Hotel, heard about my affliction, but he brought me up a cocktail that he had invented. A strange concoction. But it turned out to be a miracle cure. My voice returned to me in an instant.
That's amazing. That's just what we need. We're going to mix you up a cocktail.
Ah, my dear child. It is impossible. George never told me the recipe of the drink. He loved to keep his trade secrets. He said it made him absolutely irreplaceable.
Well, I'm going to get George to tell me. He hasn't yet met with my powers of persuasion. Look, please, you absolutely have to come with me to Komkalsgrad. It's the only way I'm going to get my train back and be able to carry on my journey.
Your train?
That's right. I've been traveling on this amazing locomotive with this automaton engineer. He isn't a million light years away from your James.
Do you hear that, James? And automaton? You have a twin brother? How delightful. And I thought I was the only person alive able to put up with such a peculiar butler.
Permit me to express my surprise, madam. Surely the fact that I remain in your service guarantees my uniqueness.
Oscar isn't my butler, though. He has a great independence of thought. Sometimes he does whatever suits him.
Just like you, James. Isn't that funny?
Madam will not be surprised to hear that she is strongly advised not to undertake a journey that, unless I am very much mistaken, will tire her needlessly.
James, only one of us will make that decision, and that person is me. I'm very curious to meet your automaton, my dear. Where is it?
He had to stay with the train in Komkalsgrad. The director used his hands for the final touches on his pianist. It's the same pianist that will accompany you when you sing.
How quaint. Another automaton. And this one can even play along with me? Play for me? Ah, why does my voice abandon me so now?
You must have had a fantastic life. So exhilarating.
Ah, much more than you could ever imagine. I used to sing the finest melodies of the moment in the most fantastic theaters around the world. I have been hailed by kings and courted by princes. Grown men would sink to their knees when they heard the first notes of my recital. My voice could break crystal glass and hearts, many hearts.
I'm not surprised.
Then one day sickness steals away the gift life has given you. My voice started to betray me. I started to get migraines. My health failed. They sent me here to let the spa town weave its healing spell. I was only going to rest for a month, but then the month became a year and the years get longer.
But you look so healthy to me.
Oh, thank you, my dear.
Okay, so that's all we can do.
I'll let you get a bit of rest. Thank you for listening to me.
It was a real pleasure, my child. You are a charming young lady, and simply talking to you has warmed my soul.
Okay, so I don't think we have the note. Maybe we do. Yes, this one here. So she mentioned the Mirrorits, which is what I concluded because of where we are. And you are supposed to call this number now. We tried calling it, I think, in the last video, and nothing happened. But it was only because we didn't know we needed to call it. Excuse me. That's the way these games kind of worked. Even if you know what you need to do, you a lot of times can't do it out of sequence. You have to wait for your character, for the game to kind of explicitly say, okay, now you need this item, or now you need to call this phone number, or whatever. So we're going to call the barman, and he'll give us this method for making this cocktail called the Blue Helena cocktail. And I'll go through with you the portion of this in the guide, just so we can get through this. This is probably the most, I would say it's the trickiest part, probably. You definitely have to take notes to get through this. But trickiest part of the game, probably. Okay, so it's 464. 464 33 6 4 3.
Hello, Hotel Moritz?
Reception here. Can I help you?
I'd like to talk to Mr. George. He's a barman at your hotel.
I'll connect you with the bar. Just a moment. Hello, hotel bar?
Hi, I'd like to talk to George, please.
George? You mean Mr. George?
Yeah, probably. He must have been a barman at the Moritz in the 50s.
Well, don't want to disappoint you, but Mr. George stopped working here quite a while ago. What was it about?
I've been told that Mr. George had a recipe for a fantastic cocktail, and only he knew the ingredients. I absolutely must know what was in it. It's a matter of life and death.
I'd love to help you, ma'am, but you see, old George, now he knew a lot of cocktails. One hell of a barman and one hell of a reputation. He did write down his recipes before he left, but if you can tell me which one you were looking for exactly?
I don't know. There are a lot of them, you say?
Yeah, the Paris Peking Shuffle, the Deep Green Secret, Boko Poco, Blue Helena, Red Mambo.
Helena! Yeah, that's the one. The Blue Helena.
Right, I'll take a look. Blue Helena, you say. Let's see. 1 measure of vodka, 1 measure of blue curacao, 1 measure of honey, a dash of lime and ice cubes. Shake it all together, and Bob's your uncle.
Perfect. Thank you very much, sir. You have been most helpful to me.
Okay. And yeah, you can click the little circle up here on the phone and it'll close it as well. Okay, so the guide says the barman will tell you the recipe, and it's just repeating what he said. So it says click on the shelf on the bar below Helena, take the crystallized honey and the lime, or the lemon. Okay, nothing else. Exit the bar and go up towards the pole. Right. because he said, what did he say? A measure of honey. We can't use the honey in the crystallized state. And if you remember, we turned on a hot tub back here with hot water. This is where that area comes into play now. Let's see if these guys have anything else to say.
Excuse me, could you just...
Oof, must confess I am flummoxed. That defense there, a real conundrum.
I really could do with...
Right hook with the knight. Nope, he's gonna follow through with that castle.
Okay. Got the picture. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah, so if you didn't before, you have to come back here and turn this valve, and then that heats the water up. And you can see we are getting a thing to use an item, but it's crossed out. It's this crystallized honey in the bottle. You have to soak it to liquefy it. Okay. Liquid honey, a lemon, crystal dish, basically a wine glass. And we still have the vodka, which we're gonna need. And this was in that little capsule where you meet that test pilot guy in the space drome or whatever that area was. It's in the back of his little capsule on the ground. So if you don't have it, that's where it is. Okay, exit the bar, go up towards the pool, go right around the pool, then go left until you come upon the two men in the small pool. Optional, click on the men to chat with them. Click on the hot tub above the two men, click the wheel behind the hot tub to turn it on. Use the crystallized honey on the hot tub to soften it. You'll get the liquid honey. Go back to the bar, click on the bar machinery, click the paper note on the machinery. I mean, we don't have to go by this guide word for word, but I might as well since I'm looking at it. Okay, so there should be a note. A note. There's something there. That must be the note. Okay. Okay. Blue Cacharo, that's one of the things. We do need vodka as well, but we already have it. For the blue Helena, you need vodka, a measure of blue Caraco, a measure of honey, and a dash of lime and ice cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth down. Some of these circles are colored. Fifth down. Okay. Okay, let's look at that again. Where'd it go? Music score. So yeah, we want it on that note. Which we are by flicking the switch in that direction. Okay. Bear with me. Okay, we got all these buttons. Let's just where something goes. You don't have to mess with everything up here. Something goes in here, possibly here, so 1 slot, 2 slot, 3 slot, and then there's the mixer, 3 buttons, okay. Click the I/O button to start the machine, so the on-off. Guess it's on. Use the vodka on the empty bottle holder on the top right. Okay, so here, nope, here. Okay, because it was missing vodka. Use the liquid honey on the bottle holder to the right of the vodka. Okay, that's what that's for. Okay. Use the lemon on the holder on the top left. This. Okay. Should use it. No, not yet. Now we need to make the drink. Click the piano key second to the left to add vodka. The piano key second to the left. Okay. Click the small switch to change from bass to treble. I already did that, yeah. I wasn't supposed to do that first, but I did. It's there, it's already on the right spot. Click the piano key third from the left to add the blue Curo, third from the left. Click the honey button, middle button on the right. Click the lemon button. Click the ice button, middle button on the left. Click the shake button, the rightmost button on the right side. It's like a little automaton shaking it. Okay, he comes out with it. So we'll know if we did it right.
Oh, my God. Ah! From what backwater of hell did you find this potion? Are you trying to poison me?
It's a blue Helena.
That is impossible. The blue Helena had a color that was like an aroma like you understand? Its texture was not quite so one thing is for certain. This is no blue Helena. Make an effort, my child.
Right. I guess I'll try out another mix.
Okay, so that didn't work. Okay, let's try this again. So okay. Press the second from the left piano key to get the measure of vodka while the switch is on the bass clef sign. Okay, original position. So that's on. You can't actually do it left and right. It's either up or right. So leave it on up. And then press the second from the left. Okay. Flip the switch to the right and then press third from the left. Third. Now let's do flip the switch, right, press the honeycomb, yep. Okay, this is all the same. Lime. Ice cubes. And then shake it. Finally.
My voice. My God, that is atrocious. Horrific. It was too good to be true. George's Blue Helena is powerless. Ineffective on the voice of an old woman.
But your voice is perfect. Don't be so down on yourself. You just need to warm up a bit, that's all. After all these years, it's to be expected.
No, I am very grateful for all your efforts, but really, I cannot go on stage with such a puny, pathetic voice. My performance would be so poor. I would get such bad reviews.
You've just got to get your confidence back. Hasn't she, James?
I must concur, madam. It sounds to me like your voice is fully restored.
James, be quiet. You are a sniveling little creep.
Okay.
I don't need to do that again.
So that other guide was kind of wrong or missing a step there. You had to leave it on the bass clef and use the vodka and then switch it to the treble clef and get the blue Caracha or whatever that was called. So anyway, I'll link it in the first gameplay video. So we're going to stop this video here. At least we did that correctly. And when we come back in the next part, we'll convince Helena that she can still sing. So thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next part. Bye.